Why, hello again, all my favorite people. Welcome to the episode. I am very happy to see you, especially you. No, not you. You. Hi. So, just a quick question here. What do you get when you take America's sweetheart, Sheedy, add a genetically enhanced murder dog, and throw in just a dash of Lance Henriksen? Why, you get the 1993 sci-fi thriller, Man's Best Friend. A riveting story of a young woman and her overprotective pooch trying to make their way through the hustle and bustle of big city life. It was written and directed by John Lafayette, who previously made a claim to fame by writing the screenplay to a much beloved horror film, Child's Play, as well as directing the first sequel. Now before we begin, make sure you hit the old like and subscribe button and well, let's get into it, shall we? The movie begins with an extremely long montage of random dog paintings. And then we go to Emacs Laboratories, where some ungrateful employee is trying to blow the whistle on her shady bosses by contacting a reporter.
Minutes.
I'm sorry she's not picking up in her office right now.
Yeah, well, tell her she just lost her story.
Hold on. Maybe she's somewhere else in the building. Let me try and locate her.
And that reporter is none other than ace journalist Lori Tanner.
Among top clothing designers.
Rah!
Hi, this is Judy Sanders over.
And Tanner agrees to meet the whistleblower later that night at the lab.
Look, I can sneak you into the lab if you still got that 500 you promised.
Yeah. I have to make sure you can get me in to see the animals. I gotta know exactly what's being done to them.
No problem.
But before that, the whistleblower gets to work with the animals in the lab.
Hola, señor.
Hello, madam. Hola, señora.
Hola, sen...
And she soon discovers that one of the animals is missing.
Gracias.
And things kind of go a little downhill for her from there. Later that night, Lori swings by the lab and starts snooping around.
This must be the place.
And then we learn that the lab is run by total shitbags.
And a tattoo on her face, too.
This is unbelievable.
Snooping further, Lori discovers a dog named Max, who's being experimented on.
Roland, is this dog really a noble sacrifice, donating his life for the betterment of mankind? Or is he simply an innocent victim of the billion-dollar vivisection industry?
And suddenly, the dog takes off, right before security arrives and confronts Lori.
Hey, hold it!
But good old Max saves the day. And Lori and her camera girl escape just as the dashing Lance Henriksen arrives.
What the hell are you doing here? Max. What's going on? What are you doing now?
And as he tries to get Max back in his cage, Max tells him to frig off and then bolts after Lori.
Come on! What are you waiting for? Let's go!
The trio then flee while Henriksen gives chase.
Oh man! Sucker!
Henriksen then reports Lori to the police to get his dog back.
Lab. I called the police. A couple of them tried to break in.
Meanwhile, Lori hits up the grocery store and is quickly accosted by some ruffian.
Give it to me! You two bitch, give me the watch!
Okay.
But the ever-vigilant Max quickly charges to the rescue.
Oh, shit! Get away from me!
Look at that.
So Lori takes Max home.
I'm a natural at this.
And soon, Lori's insecure, balding boyfriend shows up.
Come on out, I want to show you those new menus I got.
And he isn't too keen on letting Max stay with them.
Great guard dog.
No, we're not keeping this dog. It's like a 600-pound dog, Lori.
Later on, Lori's BF tries to get some action, but the jealous Max totally cockblocks him.
Is that dog outside the door?
You let the dog in the house, Lori.
Paying a visit to the cops, Lance Henriksen goes through several mugshots to try and identify Lori, but he comes up empty.
No, nothing.
He then informs the asshole cop from Die Hard 2 that time is of the essence and he must get his dog back soon.
We're on borrowed time, fellas.
But asshole cop from Die Hard 2 assures Henriksen that,
We're doing the best we can.
and before he leaves, Henriksen issues a dire warning.
We're not talking about man's best friend here.
The next morning, the paperboy rides by and quickly makes friends with the lovable Max.
Sorry, Pooch.
And then some random kid shows up at Lori's place and asks to take Max for a walk.
Be careful. Bring him back in one piece.
At the lab, Henriksen gets a visit from asshole cop from Die Hard 2 and his partner, who's not Hank Azaria, and Henriksen tells them of how he managed to genetically manipulate a dog into becoming the perfect killing machine.
You see, Max, as I call him, is not your typical dog. He's a genetic crossbreed.
A mutt.
No, I don't mean a mutt, sir. Look around you. Each of these animals is endowed with a specific desirable trait that is dedicated to their survival. If you took the DNA from each and genetically spliced it into the DNA of a breed of a dog, you would have a magnificent creature.
Getting tired from his walk, Max decides to take a little break and grab a quick snack. Later, Lori's boyfriend nearly gets into a car crash when somebody, or something, cuts his brake line. Now, it's heavily implied that Max was the one responsible for cutting the brake lines, but I just don't get how. I mean, yeah, he's supposed to be modified to be smarter than your average dog, but I just don't really picture Lance Henriksen sitting there being like, you know what, we should teach this dog basic auto maintenance, just in case. Yeah, I don't see it. So Lori leaves for work, and Max immediately heads out for another adventure. First, he pays a visit to his lady friend for a little afternoon delight.
Just because we're 17. Tell them all tell them kitty, kitty, kitty. To take come here, boy.
And then he takes a leak on a fire hydrant. And I don't know what's wrong with his kidneys, but I don't think dog pee is supposed to do that. As they arrive at a crime scene, asshole cop from Die Hard 2 and not Hank Azaria discover the corpse of the guy who tried to mug Lori.
You won't be mugging anybody no more, pal.
Henriksen shows up and confirms that it was the work of Max.
Yes, it was Max. Put this bastard out of business.
Put him out of business. He killed him, for Christ's sake.
Back at Lori's place, Max and the postman get to know each other.
Hey there, buddy. Hey, big fella. Easy now, boy. Easy. Easy. Try something, you son of a bitch.
And needless to say, things don't really go well for old Mr. Postman.
You better run, squirrel.
Thanks for playing.
Henriksen then manages to track down Lori, so she quickly bails. Meanwhile, Lori's BF comes home and plans a special meal for Max.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Look what I got for you, huh? Look at that. Some nice steak tartare from the restaurant, man. It's all for you, bud.
But Max is kind of a picky eater. Later on, Lori tries to find a new home for Max and takes him to the local scrapyard where we get to meet Ray.
Well, how are we going to become friends if you're going to act like that?
Hey, that's William Sanderson. You know, he's the guy who always says,
Hi, I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. That's my other brother Daryl.
So Ray takes Max off her hands with a promise of life on a big ranch.
No, I got a big ranch with about 15 acres out in Shadow Hills.
But old Ray isn't the sweet and kindly junker we thought he was.
I said settle down, you worthless piece of dog shit.
And now it's payback time. Henriksen returns to Lori's office and kindly asks her camera lady for Lori's address.
Where's my dog?
Hey, man, it wasn't my idea. You gotta talk to Lori.
Where's Lori?
Meanwhile, Max returns to Lori's and is understandably upset when he learns that he's been quickly replaced. So Max does what any jilted ex would do and fucks shit up. But before he can finish his reign of terror, the cops arrive and Max is forced to flee.
Let's go! Let's get this one!
And now Max is being hunted by both the cops and a pair of dim-witted dog catchers.
Yeah, puppy.
Well, Max ain't going down like a bitch. Later at night, while staking out Lori's place, asshole cop from Die Hard 2 discovers the mailman corpse right before he gets attacked by Max. And then Lori soon discovers the corpse of not Hank Azaria, just as Henriksen arrives and takes Lori back to the lab in order to get Max to follow after. And boy does he. The jealous Max is now after Lori, chasing her through the halls of the lab. And then Henriksen and Max have a final showdown. And thanks to an assist from this little shit, Henriksen gets fried. not before he lands a fatal shotgun blast to Max. Sometime later, Lori visits her neighbor and sees that Max's girlfriend had puppies.
They're cute. Oh, come here. You want one? You want one?
And one of the puppies looks very familiar. Dun, 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 dun. And that was Man's Best Friend, an adrenaline-fueled, edge-of-your-seat nail-biter guaranteed to keep you riveted from beginning to end. And despite its low reviews, it actually did fairly well at the box office, garnering $13 million off a $6 million budget. In fact, Sheedy was actually nominated for a Saturn Award for this film. So all in all, I consider Man's Best Friend to be a pretty good way to kill an hour and a half, and I even consider it to be a real gem. So until next time, folks, this is me to you, reminding you to let the good times roll, and to always keep it real. Bye-bye.